Hey guys, it's Dani. Today we're gonna talk about orchids that I would always repurchase in case I lost them. Pretty much the orchids that are at the core of my collection. 2 or 3 weeks ago I made a video about the orchids I would never repurchase and why, so if you missed that video but would like to see it, I'll add it down below in the description. And asked you then if you wanted to see the reverse, the orchids I cannot do without. And many of you wanted to see a video like this, so here we go. And if you will enjoy the video, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post on a daily basis. And with that said, let's start with the first orchid, which just happens to be the one that is missing at the moment, the Brassavola cucullata. Brassavola orchids are actually some of my favorites, and if you don't know much about them, well, they're very popular for being extremely fragrant in the nighttime. And while all Brassavolas have a wonderful, perfumey, soapy scent in the nighttime, I do detect some differences. And for me, the cucullata has the best fragrance of all. It's also the most intense. Back in my old environment, I used to have it in bloom in the balcony, and I would sit on the second balcony, which is 5 to 6 meters away from the main one, and as the wind was blowing, I could sense her fragrance, and it was just magical and beautiful. Not to mention the orchid looked fantastic. Sadly, I lost it and I cannot find it. I have other Brassavolas, and the closest thing to that one is the Brassavola David Sanders. But the most popular Brassavola, I guess, it's the Nodosa. I had a chance to smell a hybrid of the Nodosa, and to me it doesn't smell that great and powerful as the cucullata. So I'm always on the lookout for the cucullata, but if I would have to restart my collection again, I think she would be on the top of my list. Next core orchid in my collection is the Vanda Pachara Delight. This is my very first ever purchased Vanda. This very one, I purchased it 5 years ago, and it was actually a gift from my boyfriend. Little did I know that I would fall in love with it so much. Never mind the beautiful flowers and that indigo color. That is absolutely amazing, and I find it unique in the orchid world. But it's also very forgiving, easy to take care of, not finicky at all, and blooms up to 3 times a year depending on the environment. Out of all of the Vanda hybrids that I came across, I do prefer the Pacharas, simply because they deliver such big and beautiful flowers with such a vigorous nature and a willingness to rebloom over and over again. And if I would ever lose it, I would definitely repurchase it no matter what. And PS, you'll find in the description of this video some videos that I made about how I care for the Vandas, how I water them, and keep in mind I never had a greenhouse, so my tutorials do have a bias towards home growers. Another orchid that forms the basis of my collection is the Oncidium Sharry Baby. This is the famous chocolate Oncidium, or chocolate orchid, simply because it really does smell like chocolate. Now, some people sense it more as vanilla. I personally sense it as Kinder chocolate, milk chocolate, something of the sort. And whenever other people smell this orchid, they're absolutely blown away. I love this orchid so much that I have quite a few of them. I have 3 varieties of Sharry Babies plus one that is similar, has a similar parentage, but it's not necessarily a Sharry Baby. It's just something similar. But yeah, that's how much I like it. I just find it so unique, even though it is a man-made hybrid and it's not a rare orchid. You can find it in orchid nurseries. And if you overall do good with Oncidiums, there is no reason why you wouldn't do good with a Sharry Baby too. Next, we have a nobly type Dendrobium. It is the Comet King Akatsuki. Together with the Vanda Pachara Delight, they form the oldest orchids in my collection. Again, I purchased this one about 5 years ago, and right now he's done blooming, but you will see some footage with him when he was in full bloom. This Dendrobium is just so rewarding and so easy to care for that if I were to have only one single Dendrobium nobly, it would have to be this one. The fragrance is beautiful, reminds of hyacinths. The flowers are big. They're bigger than I think all of the other noblies that I have. The color is rich and beautiful, and it's just not a headache. I don't think I ever managed to stale this orchid or to set it back. Although, of course, I made mistakes with it. This one, however, never responded badly. But if I were ever to lose it, definitely it's on the top of my wish list. Now let's talk Cattleyas. There are two which represent the core of my collection. The first one is a white NoID that we decided to call Princess Jacky, but it's not an official name. Even though it's a simple white Cattleya, I think it bears the best fragrance out of all of the orchids in my collection, even better than the Sharry Baby. Mind you, this is a preference, not everybody will feel like me. But for whatever reason, this has the most complex fragrance that reminds of citrus, orange peel, cream, butter, everything at once in a blend which is pretty hard to describe, other than mouth-watering and lovely. I found her first a few years ago in a flower shop, and sadly I managed to lose the orchid. But I repurchased it recently, last year actually, and she's doing fantastic. I do not intend to lose this one, but as you can see, no matter what, I would always repurchase this Cattleya orchid. And the second core Cattleya, this is an intergeneric. It's the Iwanagaara or Iwanagaara, depending how you pronounce things in your language, Appleblossom. I find this to be a staple not only for me, but for other people as well. It is one of the easiest Cattleyas you can own. It also doesn't really like all that much light, so if in your location you don't benefit from a very sun-blazing location, that's okay. This orchid can take bright shade and sunshine early in the morning, and that's it. She will do wonderful for you. You can also grow it under artificial light. She did great for me as well, and the reward is fantastic. It always blooms with this immense cluster of blooms, and also it has a unique fragrance. Some people suggest it smells like freesias, and I do agree with that. I also think it smells like the flowers of a fruiting tree, maybe an apple, so to me it does smell a little bit like an apple blossom, but it could be a pear. And also it has a minty quality to it. Again, one of those pretty complex perfumes, but a lot softer than the other Cattleya. Definitely worth checking it out. If you're thinking to buy your very first Cattleya, do start with the Iwanagaara if you have the chance. Another orchid I would always repurchase, and I already have, is the Encyclia cordigera. This is a genus in the Cattleya family. It takes pretty much the same care, but the cordigera is famous for her fragrance. People suggest it smells like chocolate again. I can definitely sense the difference between her and the Sharry Baby, but I find the cordigera to smell more like powder cocoa, powder chocolate, if that makes any sense. There are people who say the cordigera has an underlayer of roses. I also heard that different varieties have a little bit of a difference in fragrance as well. Therefore, I have 3 cordigeras. This one, I have another one which is supposed to be the purpurea. It has a completely purple lip, and I also have my very first cordigera, which she's a survivor. She survived a really nasty fungal infection. I don't know what she is, but she's the oldest one in my collection. But yeah, it can be anything. So I love the cordigera as much as to have 3 of them, and I'm okay with that. I don't mind their taking up space for now. When it comes to Phalaenopsis orchids, definitely the Phalaenopsis bellina is always on my wish list. This is a summer blooming Phalaenopsis species that creates a few flowers at a time, but the colors are wonderful. And even better than the colors is the fragrance. One of the best fragrances in my collection, hands down, has to be that of the bellina. And overall, how the flowers look like, the very compact and very slow growth of this orchid make it very desirable. She will not take up all that much space anytime soon because of her slow growth, and each year in the summertime I will be rewarded with the wonderful flowers and blooms. What more can you ask for? Sadly, mine has suffered. This damage you can see here is an effect of the spider mites. It is a virus that is transmitted to Phalaenopsis by the red spider mite. It's called Oncidium Sharry virus, and orchids can overcome it. Some do, some don't. It takes years and years and years though. So this is my very first bellina. It's the Ponkan variety. I'm considering replacing it, or at least having a double because of this. But yeah, definitely she's not going anywhere. It's just sad that she doesn't look her best at the moment. Let's remain in the realm of Phalaenopsis and talk about the sweet memory Liodoro. This is again one of my favorites, and this is a repurchase one already because I lost my first one, yes, to spider mites. But this is the bridge between the summer blooming species and the winter to spring blooming ones. She blooms in the spring for me, creates quite a few flowers on these long flower spikes, and the flowers are bigger than the bellina, but they have the texture, the colors of the summer blooming ones, and also the fragrance. This is one of the most fragrant orchids in my collection, and it is slightly similar to the bellina in fragrance, in the sense that it has that citrusy, yummy fragrance. But overall, she's such an easy grower, easy to take care of, big girl, yes, but the reward is wonderful and the fragrance is really mouth-watering. And before we move away from the Phalaenopsis to the final group of orchids, here are some honorable mentions. The Phalaenopsis Mini Mark, one of my favorites. This is a second purchase, my first Mini Mark again, I lost. And also the big white flowered Phalaenopsis, which can be a variety of hybrids. But now let's move on to the last group of orchids that I think I will always repurchase. And these are the Miltoniopsis plus the Nelly Eiler. Now these orchids are not always present in my collection. These are pretty finicky orchids for me because they do require lower temperatures than I can provide, but this year I have a plan for them, and because they are so finicky and I could never give them the proper conditions, I lost quite a few of them, but I'm always drawn to them. I like the patterns, the colors, I like everything about them, and I think at some point it is more of a challenge for me with them as well. I did hear other people saying that the orchids which simply cannot be conquered are their favorites. It's pretty much the same with me. The Nelly Eiler with her beautiful red flowers and the Miltoniopsis with their cascades, they are pretty much my goal and my dream. And I swear to myself that one day I will be able to grow them well and I'll have a big collection of these orchids as well. So on and off, you will see these orchids in my collection as well. And because I repurchased them so much in 5 years, it's pretty much safe to say I will always repurchase them and try again over and over until I get it right. I do hope this year I get it right, but for that you'll have to stay subscribed and see what happens next. So these are the orchids that I would always repurchase. I think there are more than this, but the video would be a little too long, and at least these are the staple ones, the ones that stand out to me the most, and there is no question about it. Like that, they shall be repurchased in case I lose them. Let us know down below in the comments what are your staple orchids, the core orchids of your collection, because we can always use inspiration when we're making our wish list. So with that said, I hope you've enjoyed this video and you know the drill. If you did enjoy it, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe to my channel for regular or actually daily orchid videos, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. And with that said, I'll see you all next time. Bye!